Hey you guys, this is a really impromptu video, but I really felt like I needed to share this video for people who watch my videos. I am sharing words that are spoken to me, and sometimes people who watch these videos or other people's videos don't understand or know how to discern the word from God or know how people are able to hear the word from God. And I'm going to speak just for me, so let me push my seat back a little bit to get comfortable. For me, I opened up my heart in a time where I needed to hear from God for a situation that I was going through, and I needed his guidance to help me get through that time. And I just shut out everything that was around me and open up my heart, my mind, and my ears to hear specifically from God. I didn't want to hear from anybody else because everybody else was giving me advice and guidance that was not helpful. I'm a little sweaty because I just got back from the gym. They were giving me advice that was not helpful. It was actually causing me way more issues than I needed to have on top of what I was trying to get help with. So that moment of surrendering myself to God and just asking him to speak to me and praying for wisdom and discernment, at that moment I heard it just as clear as day. I could understand all those verses I had read in the Bible come to me and speak to me based off of what I was going through at that moment. And I knew exactly at that moment, in order for me to hear from him, I had to get a better relationship with him. I had to have an intimate relationship with him to know that I hear from him and hear from him only, not the outside world. And if he does position people into my life to help feed my spirit, I will also be able to use discernment based off of how they've been placed into my life. So for me specifically, how I was able to hear and how I'm able to hear from God is to limit everything around me, have an intimate one-on-one relationship with God, and not take in what everybody else is saying as that's not true. How can you do that? That's not possible. It is very possible to hear from our Father when we want to hear from him. Those that choose not to hear from him is because they are at a different area in their life. I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to say what they're saying is wrong. But for me, I got tired of the roller coaster ride of thinking if I ask this person for advice, they're going to give me advice, they're going to help me through it. I got tired of that because they were not helping me. Those people were giving me worldly advice that was just giving me no results. And I was tired. I was exhausted. I was tired of carrying that weight. I was absolutely tired. And I just threw my hands up and I got fed up, and I just was like, that's it. Like, I can only cry out to God. Like, that's the only person left now who can actually show me what he is capable of. He can show me what he's capable of. And I trusted him. I remember all the years of going to church and my mom and my family telling me how important it is to have a relationship with God. It all flooded to me that moment. I surrendered and just said, I have nothing else to give besides just believing in that you're going to give me the answer for bringing me out of this situation. So that to me is how I was able to start hearing from God for me when it comes to involving him into my day-to-day life. I knew at that moment that I would be judged. I would be ready to be judged by people who were non-believers. I was going to be judged by family members. I was going to be judged by anybody who just was not a believer. And I was so okay with that, because the moment I got the peace and wisdom and discernment from God was way better than caring about anybody else's opinion about me. And it just made sense. Like, people who were trying to come against me, trying to minimize what I was seeing and believing in, I could no longer allow them to be a part of what was going to be great for me by having a better relationship with God. So I hope it wasn't all over the place. But let me go back. Like I said, how I was able to discern and hear from God was surrendering myself to Him, silencing everybody around me that was not giving me the advice that I thought I wanted to hear and needed to hear, and asking God to speak to my spirit and having the Holy Spirit guide me throughout my daily moves. And once I prayed those prayers and asked for a hedge of protection over my mind, on top of the other prayers I do daily, it was no problem hearing from God. It was no problem now seeing that I can share the greatness of what God has done for me and how He can do greatness for others by sharing testimonies of what He's done throughout my life. And to share a testimony is to hear and see God. Sometimes He speaks really loud. Sometimes He's very silent. Usually it's more of a whisper. And when we whisper in the real world, you're almost covering your mouth like this, like, hey, can you hear me? So I knew at that moment, in order to hear His whispers, I had to mute everything around me. Everything. That meant certain relationships, certain people, certain situations, certain music I listen to, the way I carry myself, the way I protect myself when I go out. I mean, everything changed. And once I did that internal change, and now my outward body and motions started to match what I was doing internally, it just kind of fell into place, and I was able to hear and discern what He was speaking to me. And I hope whoever's watching this to the end of this video, I hope you're getting blessed by this word. Stepping out of the comfort zone of pain is uncomfortable, but you will get tired. Eventually, you will just get tired of that hamster wheel of just going and getting advice from people that are not giving you sound advice. And you know deep down it's not the right person or people that you're going to, or the community that you need to go to give you advice. You'll get tired of it. You'll get exhausted. You'll just get tired of carrying that weight. And you'll just be like, there's nothing else that I can do besides just believing in God. Like, I have to see if He's real. And He's real. So when you hear people's testimonies and you hear other people speaking of the glory of God, before judging them, just think of how much braveness it took for them to share what some people find unbelievable to actually understand and relate to. It's true. It's better on this side for me than it has been on any other side in the years I've been on this earth right now. Like, I can't tell you how grateful I am for my old virgin to have just surrendered and be like, you know what, you can no longer keep taking this whole entire weight on by yourself. You're uneven, you're unbalanced, and you need more help than what you're getting right now, because the help that you're going to is just keeping you in this cycle that's hurting you. And eventually we all get to that point where we're just like, that's enough, I'm tired. And once you do know that moment, it'll speak to you. And if you are a person that believes in God and believes that there is a higher being that's out there, you'll know exactly how to go to that moment and just plead for help and beg for help. And that's what He wants. Our Father's just waiting, like, thank you. I can feed you. I can nourish you. I can grow you. I can do what I want to do within you now that you're allowing me to do it the right way. So I really felt led to share this because I know a lot of people go on these videos, they hear these random words from people, and they're like, oh gosh, another word. How is this person? How is this person? That person, if it is a person, and I always take them back to God, if it is a person that is actually genuinely hearing from God and they're pressed to share it with a word, trust me, 9 times out of 10, they sometimes don't want to do it, but they have to do it because it won't leave them alone, because they're pushed to share what their going through and their testimonies to other people that need to hear it. So don't minimize every person you hear, and you shouldn't always be going to YouTube or going to any other platform before going to God. The first person you should be going to is speaking to him once you come on the other side, or even if you're not on the other side. He's going to answer you way better than somebody else could. Now, somebody else may confirm a word if it's in alignment with what you've already been praying for and fasting for, or petitioning in prayer for somebody else. They may confirm that, but before confirming that, always go to God, because he's going to give you a better answer than anybody else will. Even in the silent times, that just means just to be still. Don't move. Don't go before him. Don't try to figure it out on your own unless he is telling you to move. It's just like when you get that uneasy feeling, like I feel like something happened and you don't know what happens, but somebody calls you and tells you something happened. That moment that's like a moment of your body speaking to you, like, listen to me. Be easy, be still, or now it is time to move. So yeah, I just really felt led to share how I hear from God and how I'm able to discern it, especially those that are coming into my life that are brought to me to help me move on to another level. I always take them back to God, because if you've been praying for something and asking for something and now you're glorifying God and you're doing what you're supposed to do, if it's the right time, and I know a lot of people say it's the right season, he will fast forward that plan so quickly. I'm telling you, you won't have time to get everything together. And that's because you're in alignment, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Not every time that you surrender yourself to God, it's going to be great. It's going to be some shedding of some skin. It's going to be shedding of some relationships, some situationships, some family members, some work friendships, some music, some clothing, some hairstyles, some anything that might move you towards how it fits your internal appearance. You'll shed it, and your body and your outside appearance will start matching that, and you'll look different. People won't know how to really approach you because you're so different now, because of how you have surrendered yourself to hear from God, to know that you want him in every detail, and you're not going to limit him to any small area. You're going to put him in every area. I mean, I literally do that for everything. I don't care if it's like a very small, tiny decision. I include God, because including him means I'm one-on-one in an intimate relationship with him. Like, he's with me, he's in this car right now, the Spirit's with me, he's leading me to make this video. I'm not putting him somewhere like, I'll come back to you later. Absolutely not, because you didn't come to me later when I needed you. You came to me, you saved me, and I'm going to share how much you have been nothing but great in my life, and how you saved me, and how you kept me, and how you're showing out in my life and my family's life. And those that don't want to hear from you, but I'm making them believers again, I will not minimize him, because he answered me right when I needed him to show up. So you guys, I'm really glowing and hot, because I literally just got out of the gym and I want to turn my air on. I have it on, but I hope I'm speaking loud enough and you guys can hear me over my air conditioner in my car. But again, this is just a really impromptu video of how I am hearing and heard from God once I surrendered myself to God, to hear from him, to worship him, to honor him, and how I continue to hear him and then share these words on YouTube with those that want to hear from him or need a confirmation word on something that they've been praying on and seeking guidance on. I come on here to share the word. It is not something that is always easy for me to do. It always seems like, to me, it doesn't make sense when I'm saying it, but when I go back and look at the videos, I'm like, I can't believe I said that. It did make sense, and it will make sense to those that are in a area where they're looking for guidance and a deeper relationship outside of their earthly relationships, you know. And I also want to share, when people worry about things after they surrender to God and, you know, they're like, I'm giving everything to you. If you're still worrying about something, you're putting that before God, which is meaning, and I heard this from somebody else and it makes perfect sense. I think it was Christy Chessie. I can't remember. I think it is her. I'll link her channel below. Or another YouTuber. No, I think it was Shantia. I think it was her. But, and I'll link her channel too. She really made a lot of sense when she said this word. When you worry about something, you're idolizing that. And that is so true. How can you give yourself to God and say, I'm giving all my burdens to you, and then later on down the line, you're still worrying about something? As soon as you catch that thought of you're worrying about something, you're getting ready to worship and idolize that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Try to capture yourself immediately in your thoughts, and before you say it out loud, and remember, give it to him. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to worry about this, but just show me a way to get through this situation. I'm telling you right now, that is a big thing that I used to do, is overanalyze and worry about something that never came to. But I also realized how my thoughts and my prayers and my mouth are powerful. If you think it, you say it, it shall be. So I don't even want to have it in my mind as a what if. I know some people are really realistic people and like, wow, I prepare for the worst. I don't want to prepare for the worst. I want to prepare for the greatness. So I'm just going to make sure what I'm getting ready to think about as a worry, I capture it and I just say, here, take it. I don't know how to handle this situation right now. I don't want to be angry while I'm dealing with this situation. I don't want to speak something that's in my feelings on the situation. Just help me get through it. Cover my mouth, close my mouth. Let me be slow to anger, because right now I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm upset, and it just seems like this situation is not fair. And when she said that, when you idolize something that you worry about, it becomes an idol. That's true. She was right when she said that word. She was right on point, and it was Shantia. I think I know it was her, because I watched that video and she really spoke to me when she had that video posted. And I'm gonna put that exact video in this description box in this video when you guys watch it, and I'm gonna put Christy Jessie too. She's really good. But like I said, you know, when you want to hear and discern from God, you just have to be willing to be vulnerable, be open, and get ready to sometimes have people reject you for having a belief of somebody that is very true and very much willing to give you glory and protection throughout your day-to-day. But it's more believers than it is non-believers I'm seeing nowadays. So if you're on the edge of sharing how you hear from God and how you want to share a word, a rhema word, or whatever type of word you want to call it, I shouldn't say that, but like whatever is speaking to you at that moment to share with people, give it to God. And if he's telling you and pressing it on your heart to share it, because you're only glorifying him, and he wants other people to hear the goodness of what he can do in your life and others' lives. So, okay, you guys, I gotta go take care of errands. I hope this video blessed somebody. My wonderful, amazing subscribers, thank you all, especially from the Women Evolve conference. I have some new subscribers from there. Thank you. I hope you all have a great and blessed week ahead. And I pray that Psalms 91 is covering you. And I pray for supernatural miracles to bless over you all day to day. And remember, he's in the details. So include him in those small details as well. Take care. Bye.